Hi, I'm Chef Frank. This is Proto Cooks, and today we're gonna make fried chicken. So we're gonna make fried chicken today, and I realized that everyone has a different way to make fried chicken. This is just one way that I found reliable and delicious. My family likes it, and whenever I serve it, people are happy with it. So this is just one version of one dish. Don't get too crazy, okay? That's not fried chicken. Fried chicken comes in many shapes and forms, okay? So here's what I use. I have chicken thighs with the skin on, bone out. I like my fried chicken bone out, okay? Call me crazy. I like it without the bone. So skin on, bone out. I did these the other day, okay? I'm gonna put this aside for a sec, and I'm gonna show you what I use to marinate or brine. Because the way that I look at this is that it's basically a brine, right? We wanna get some seasoning into the chicken. So this chicken needs to sit for at least 6 hours in order for that salt and those flavors to kind of soak in. So I'm starting out with some buttermilk, and I have a little bit of garlic, 2 cloves. Don't go crazy with the garlic. Some people might want to use garlic powder, this and that. I like a little fresh garlic. I just think that it's a nicer flavor. I think garlic powder lingers a little too much. But if you're down with garlic powder, you like it, go ahead, go for it, okay? But I definitely want a little fresh garlic, and I don't want to overpower it. This needs to be a background flavor, okay? So I chop this up. And notice how I'm mixing all of my my seasonings and my flavorings in this measuring cup. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want to taste it, right? If I mix it in with the chicken, I can't taste it because there's raw chicken. Now, I probably won't get sick from that, but I like to mix in the measuring cup so that I can taste, okay? I have a little bit of garlic, a lot of salt. And by a lot of salt, I mean, I want this to be seasoned well, slightly on the salty side, a couple of glugs of hot sauce, and lots of black pepper, fresh cracked black pepper, lots of it. Lots of black pepper, see, and I'm cracking it fresh. If you don't want to sit here and do this because it's too time consuming, you can always get like a coffee grinder and dedicate it to spices. We have coffee grinders at school that we use just for spices. And then I whisk this together, okay? Whisk it together. I'm gonna get a spoon. And I'm gonna taste. Why would you taste buttermilk? And, oh, by the way, that was buttermilk in here. Totally forgot to say it was buttermilk. Why buttermilk, right? Buttermilk has some acid to it. It kind of just makes a nice tangy flavor with your chicken. It also sticks to the chicken really well. What if you don't have buttermilk? You can always just take regular milk and add some lemon juice or some vinegar to it, and that'll thicken it a little. So usually like maybe 4 cups of regular milk and 2 or 3 tablespoons of vinegar or lemon juice will kind of approximate buttermilk if you don't have it, okay? Let me give this a taste. Definitely a little more salt. More black pepper. Because I want this to be a very, very strong marinade. And it's like I said before, it's kind of like a brine, like you're brining something, because you want the salt to get into your chicken, okay? Mix it together really good. Now I can use the same spoon if I just drip it on there instead of dipping it in, so I don't, much better, okay? So now I have my mix, my marinade, or my brine, whatever you want to call it. Stay there, and I'm gonna pour it over my chicken. Okay. Get all of it out if you can. I have a glove. And I'm gonna mix this around. Get it in there, make sure it gets all around. Make sure everything gets coated, so everything's gonna be seasoned. Okay, great. So my chicken is coated really well, and I'm gonna cover this up, put it in the fridge, and let it sit for about 6 hours. You could let this go overnight if you have the time, but at minimum 6 hours. I really want some of that salt to kind of migrate into the chicken. And when the chicken's ready, we'll come back and fry. So now our chicken has been taken out of the buttermilk, put into the flour mixture. It was just flour, salt, and pepper. And I let it sit on this rack at room temperature for about 20 minutes. And you can see my flour is actually hydrating a little and getting sticky. And that's exactly what I want. I was taught this recipe by someone I work with. She was a sous chef. Her name was Victoria. And I've found by far this is the best method for fried chicken I've ever tried, okay? This is the key to this. The key to this is letting it sit after you dredge it in the flour the first time. Make sure that it kind of soaks up some of the liquid or the buttermilk. And this is what you get from your flour. I add a little more flour to this, but you'll see after the first dredging, my flour got some of these like lumpy like buttermilk clumps, which is what gives those little crispy nubs on your chicken. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take this chicken, it's gonna go back into the flour, back on my tray, and then I'm gonna fry it. So we're at the stove. I have a pan. I'm going to do a shallow fry in this, or it's kind of a deep fry. It's not totally submerged. I have it on medium-high heat. I'm just using vegetable oil, okay? I changed my mind just a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my chicken pieces off of my tray, dredge them in the flour, and then go directly from the flour into the oil. And I'm always conscious of the fact that I'm going to drop this away from me, so that if it does splash, I don't get splashed. And I'm going to fill the pan all the way up with my chicken pieces. Okay. You got to be careful it doesn't bubble over. I think I probably fit 1 or 2 more pieces without it bubbling over. Let me get a smaller piece. And this is what you want to see. Okay. You see things bubbling. Bubbling means that the water is being cooked out and the oil is not being soaked in. So as long as you see things bubbling, you're sure to not have a super greasy product. Fried chicken, no matter what you do, is going to have a little bit of fat to it. But as long as it's bubbling, it won't be greasy. So we'll come back when this is done and see what it looks like. So my first batch is pretty much done. You can take an internal temperature of this, and usually you want internal temperature of this to be about 165 degrees. I'm draining this onto paper towels. I got a nice golden brown, nice and crispy. This piece needs another minute or 2. I'll drop a little more, and when it's all done, we'll come back over and taste it. The fried chicken is done. Look at it, it's beautiful, right? If you look at this piece of chicken, it's juicy and crispy. It's got all these little knobs of crust that's crunchy. It's beautifully golden brown. Let me take a bite. Wow. It's seasoned well all the way through, the crust and the chicken. It's juicy. Like I said in the beginning, I don't like fried chicken with bones in it, so I did it without the bones. I have the skin on. This is my method, and I hope you guys enjoy it. I'd love to see what you guys do. Send me comments. I love reading the comments. If you like this video, like, subscribe. I'm Chef Frank. This is Proto Cooks, and I hope you enjoyed the video. 1, 2.